And here he is, spawning in the upper left, in the blue, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Give it up for Rogue. And his opponent in the bottom right, in the red, representing Kaizi Gaming. He's the one, the only, Innovation. So, of course, this is TVZ, and what this means is there's nothing all that substantive to talk about for the first, 5 minutes. I mean, you can talk about Reaper Harass, but there are only so many games you can talk about. Oh, the Reaper kills one Zergling. If it's four Zerglings, the Reaper kills no Zerglings. If it's 6 Zerglings, I mean, you can only talk about that so much. So instead, I believe we shall let's present this game in the form of interpretive dance. Except, wait, my face is not on screen. So I will cast this game in interpretive dance, and that just means it's going to be a quiet cast for the next 5 minutes. Okay, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. But, you can do it. Sounds like fun. So this will be a Reaper expand coming on in from Innovation 16, 18, 17 for Rogue. So with that being the case, we just got a standard opener. I'm kind of interested to see what Innovation goes for in this game, because he has gone for a little bit interesting openers in TVZ recently. We've seen him mess around with kind of these blue flame openers that both him and Beon have been trying to make work, and they've been somewhat successful. I mean, they're not like, oh my god, this is the next big thing, but they have not, but they've won some games. They've won more than they've lost, but also it's Innovation. You kind of expect him to win more than he loses anyways. So now we do have the Reaper coming on into the main base. And actually, he's gonna get, okay, there I was like, man, is Rogue gonna let him kill that? No way. Honestly, almost a really nice surround there, but Innovation, he's too good for that. Really, the question here is, the only question we're looking at in this game is he able to snipe the Creep Jammer? But no, I believe the Reaper, the Reaper has lost too much HP to be able to get that Creep Jammer snipe, and there we go, just three Command Center play coming on in from the innovative Terran player, even before the factory is done. Yeah, this is the earliest possible 3rd Command Center. So Innovation, he's just looking to go into stock, standard macro play in this game number 1, and that makes a lot of sense. Death Aura, it is an easy base to take a 3rd base, easy map to take a 4th base. And when you do that, when you just get easy 3-4 bases, it is a rather strong position to really play into that style. Not go for, double factory Blue Flame Hellion. No, just play the style that you are known for when the map plays into that style. Absolutely. So Innovation's going to go for that in this game, and well, Rogue, right now it's just drone. Speed's done in about 30 seconds. Of course, Rogue playing that style that Solar has started doing, where you just you get a little less gas early on. So that means you have a 4-minute speed timing instead of a 3:30 speed timing. And in TVZ and ZVT, 99 games out of 100, that will not make that much of a difference. It means maybe you can't catch the Reaper, but on the flip side, I mean, the Hellions, we see they're just hitting right now. So it's going to be A-okay there. So Innovation, he is going for one-on-one, but it will be Cloaked Banshee. So Hellion Banshee will be the pressure vector of choice for Innovation in this game number 1. We don't expect it to get a lot done, but it's not super committal. I mean, there were times where, Banshee, he's committing so hard to this, but no. Now maybe if getting Cloaked, that makes him want to make sure he gets a little bit more, but at the end of the day, he still has his 3rd base speed 4-5 minutes on location. He still is on somewhat equal worker counts compared to his opponent. I mean, yes, Zerg player got a 38 supply, 36 supply 3rd base, or actually, no, sorry, 32 supply 3rd base, 28 supply 3rd base. So he does have that quick 3rd, which means more lava, means more drones, means a good economy. But again, Triple Mule Innovation is absolutely fine with this, even if he is down 9-10 workers. So now we're going to have to see how much damage he can get done with the 6 Hellions and the Banshee that is now coming out on the map here. I thought we already had one. Where's that Banshee? Okay, Banshee sitting at home. Innovation just pooling for 2 Banshees here. And I don't... Oh, actually, wait. There are 8 Hellions on the map. That is even more committed. This is a rather committed Hellion Banshee, actually. I was talking about, oh, hey, you know, Innovation doesn't expect to get too much done here. But with 8 Hellions and 2 Banshees and Cloak, suddenly this is a bit more committed. Suddenly Innovation does want to get something done. Even if it's just, you know, maybe get a Queen or 2, fry a couple Zerglings. But I don't think he's going to be all that happy if it is nothing. If he gets nothing done whatsoever. Actually, yeah, these Queens, they all have fairly high energy. So the Banshees are just going to run right on by. Now, do we have detection? No, there is no detection on this map. These Banshees are actually going to get a ton of damage done here. We do notice, of course, Rogue, for his part, he's adding a macro hatch as well, going up to 5 barracks pretty quickly. Oh, there we go. So then, yeah, it grows in the natural. Of course, Banshees do one-tap probes, so this or do one-tap workers. So that means that these Banshees are just getting so much done. This is more damage that I've seen a pair of Banshees do in ever. I don't think I've ever seen Banshees get this much damage done. Now we do have Spores here, and one Banshee will run out of energy, but 1, 2 more. Yeah. Yeah, 20 workers go down. I'm not going to say Rogue's dead, because Rogue is a S-class player. Rogue, it won GSL Season 2, and Innovation actually hasn't won a tournament this year, so that's rather surprising. But this is this is 20 workers that have died, and 1 Banshee escapes. 1 Banshee for 20 workers. When Inno started his 3rd base at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, when he has a 4th base on the way. Ooh, this is gonna be hard for Rogue. Game's not over for him, but this is going to... Well, okay. Well, I'm not going to say game's over for him, but game will be rather hard. And I do like this Rogue. He is going into Lingbane Hydra as his tech path of choice out of this. That is a much more stable tech path. It is something that you can fight from behind maybe a little bit more. You can actually take those straight up fights. Innovation just looks to lean on into with the full macro force of the Terran Dominion. Now, if you go Mutiling Bane, for example, it just becomes a little bit harder. Having that eco deficit is a bit of a problem. So now we have this drop coming in here. A couple Widow Mines are going to look to target down the Queens. And we're just going to see the Marines go drop on into the main base. Most of these Hellions do die, by the way. So nice pickup from Rogue. But it's even army supply at this point in the game. But that is not, or even supply at this point in the game. That's not what you want to see when the Terran has 4th base just about done. There's going to be a 4-base Zerg against a 4-base Terran. And these Queens can maybe get 1 medevac. No, they will not be successful in doing so. And there we go, 4th base on the way, 2-2 on the way here. Now, Rogue still does have a little bit of an upgrade lead, but we're going to see Drilling Claws on the way. I would like to see Innovation get on into tanks here, because of course this is Hydroling Bane, but he has not really scouted that yet. There we go. So, Hellbats go down, but yeah, decent trades. All right, and I do like this. Look, Rogue finally buying a little bit of room for himself. Says, okay, now is the time. I need to get counterattacks. I need to force Innovation to stay home. And he's actually going to do, absolutely going to do that with, what is that? Tons of Lings. Probably like 40 Lings going to get on top of this 4th base. And the Planetary is not done, which means Innovation, A, he can go pseudo all in here and try to kill the base, which looks like what he's going to do. And actually, no, the rally will be able to kill off a decent amount of this. Meanwhile, we do have Innovation just targeting down so many of those Banelings. Now we're going to lift off into the main base. 6 workers go down. Widow Mine's getting more and more damage done here. Drilling Claws is not a thing yet, so they can't really get up and get out. But a drop of Innovation. It's on in the main base. This 4th base is now alive, and it is a planetary. But Innovation, he's going to be forced back. And oh, one medevac. Only 1 medevac goes down. There was a weak one. It very much should have been targeted down, but was not. And now the rally coming on in here. And Rogue's doing a damn good job of playing in this game. Granted, I mean, he's still not in the best spot. But he does have 2-2 versus 1-1. He has rough parity in army supply. And you gotta remember, Lingbane is incredibly supply efficient on top of creep, which is what Innovation is pushing on into. That being said, this creep spread from Rogue is not all that great. And look at those Widow Mine shots. Now, Innovation can't really take this fight until 2-2. But he's doing a really good job of forcing positive trades. That 1k resource differential we saw earlier is now a 2k resource differential. That being said, we do have Burrow on the way here. Hopefully, we'll see Rogue get something done with this. Maybe burrow some Widowmines off of creep and have Innovation run over them. It may just be to, you know, deny bases or keep himself alive a little bit longer. But this drop will not get a whole lot done. Rogue doing a really good job of splitting his army. And Inno, as good as he looked at the start of this game, I mean, he got 20 workers with 2 Hellions. Well, we're not seeing that dominance that I kind of expected in this game. Now we have Widowmine drop coming on in to this base, and oh, there we go. Now he's got the. Now he's got it. 11 workers do go down, and now the drop on. Oh, Doom drop into the main base. You got to be careful these Hydras though. Innovation, be careful. Innovation. Oh no, Innovation, no. Okay, he's gonna drop anyways, but he will lose 2-3 medevacs here, and that means the majority of his army will not go off. But there we go. Now Bailing's coming in. Widowmine's gonna try to burrow, do what they can, but they will just get targeted down, and the drop coming on back. Meanwhile, Innovation, he has his 5th base on the way in a decent rally to try to deal with that. This Banshee is still alive, by the way. Banshee with 7 kills. And now we're in this position where Innovation has enough to fight on 2 fronts at once. We do have this army on the right-hand side, army on the left as well, and it's 2-2 versus 2-2, so Innovation can kind of take this fight with each unit having a personal healer. The Banelings will make their connections, but eventually this army will go down. It looks like Innovation was cleaned up on the right-hand side as well. Really well done there from Rogue, but that being said, we have a more rally from Innovation on the left-hand side. Widowmines will burrow, but of course Zerglings will back on up here. Innovation, though, 5th base is now done. We will see workers rallied on over there, and Innovation has as many workers as the Zerg does. That's not something you see all that often. YOLO drop coming on into the main base. Rogue, though, Rogue is playing such a good defense. I mean, yes, losing everything to those Banshees was pretty problematic. But, oh, those the traitor Widowmines! 2 medevacs go down. Oh no, Innovation. If you look at resources lost, it's not ballooning all that fast. Now, that being said, though, 3-3 is just about done, and this is that traditional inflection point, where suddenly the Terran army trades so much more efficiently than the Zerg does. And with how poor this creep spread has been in this game, this is where things will get... Okay, never mind. Traitor Widowmines once again forced back. I would like to see some detection with this army, with, I mean, there's Widowmines, and there's a Banshee here. Innovation, 2 more command centers on the way. We're at the point where the Terran is rich and really starting to look to get rid of the some of the SCVs that he has, and in doing so, he just builds a lot of orbitals. 3 orbitals are on the way eventually, but look, okay, so Widowmines, man, Rogue is doing such a good job of just dragging Widowmines into the army of Innovation here, and that is what allowing him to, that is absolutely what is allowing him to take these fights and just really make these solid holds. Now, Innovation does have a bank, though, and Innovation does have a superior economy, so at the end of the day, Innovation's still rolling on in here, but Lurkers are now on the way. 6 Lurkers at a time, 6 Lurkers warping in, and we do have Lurker upgrades. So that will make it a little bit more difficult for Innovation to really push on in here, but I wonder whether he has found the opening now. No, he hasn't. Never mind. So this really just feels like death like 1,000 cuts, because Rogue is never really reaching worker parity. Is never really reaching that that army supply parity that you would look at, that he would look to do. But the 3rd base will get canceled. Of course, Cracklings are powerful forces, and Rogue he's on 5 bases. He has Lurkers now. Adding an additional 9 Lurkers, going up to 11. He will have a Lurker speed coming up as well. Adaptive talents coming on up here, and Innovation is only on 5 bases. So there is base parity here, and the style that Rogue is going for is often okay with that. Especially considering Innovation is not really going... Okay, there we go. Lurkers will burrow. This is not a fight for Innovation here. Because Innovation is not adding tanks all that much. He's not adding... okay, Zerglings could go kill this base, but I'm not... Does he... Rogue aware of this? He is. Okay. So now we go. These Cracklings will find this wall, and this wall will go down. This actually may... No, there are enough orbitals here. And now with the YOLO drop coming on into the main base, but there is not enough defense here, and is this the position that Innovation has been looking for? Lurkers are on the low ground, and Lurkers are a little bit back, but the army of Rogue's not really here. Actually, Rogue's taking this fight. Lurkers from the low ground are doing God's work here, and more Lurkers will burrow. Innovation is going for a scan, but it's not going to be enough. Innovation's going to be forced back. Yes, 10 workers did go down, but for the first time in this game, Rogue has supply parity. Rogue has +2 ground attack, +2 ground attack for both sides at this point. He was able to get a decent amount of damage done here. Innovation not supply blocked yet, but it's something he has to worry about. And now the Lurker counterattack. Please, Rogue. Go. Okay, Rogue with the Lurker counterattack on top of this planetary. And now, Innovation, he's going to lose this base. Rogue, for the first time in this game, is in a wonderful position. This drop's not going to get a whole lot done. Lurkers from the low ground doing what they can. Lurkers on the high ground as well. They're just going to shadow this. This base of Innovation will go down. And Innovation, after killing 20 workers with 2 Banshees, after doing so much work over the last several minutes, after the last 15 minutes of this game, is now no longer in the dominant position that he was in. Yes, he has a bank, but he does not have the army he was looking for to fight this army of Rogue. The base will be forced to lift, but there are still Hydras that can kill this off. This drop doing what it can, but there is nothing there. 20 workers have gone down. Now Innovation, he's looking for a counterattack. What are these Lurkers doing? They need to go back to the 4. How many Lurkers do we have on the map right now? Only 5. So it looks like Innovation was able to clean up some of the Lurkers, but that the knee is off, the foot is off the neck of Rogue. Now Innovation moving on in once again. Rogue not exactly in position to deal with it, to defend this rich Vespene base, and actually not really in position to defend either base at the moment. But this drop, yeah, this is a fake drop. It's a bunch of Widow Mines that don't have anything in it. Innovation is not aware of this. Okay, now Innovation sees this drop. Or sees this base, so he's going to try to do that. Alright, oh, we're going to see a Lurker flank coming on in here. Look at this. Innovation, he's going to try to recruit Lurkers. Are they in hold position? The hold position Lurkers. Rogue, he's going to... Oh, they all go down. Everything dies. Innovation. Oh, no. Widowmine's going to do something here, but it's not going to be enough. Now, we do have Innovation on the left-hand side, but there are Lurkers, a couple Lurkers on the defensive. There we go. 3 Lurkers should be enough to defend this. And Innovation just trying to win with the sheer force of his economy. But the Lurkers, the Lings, they're now here. They're now in the natural, and they're going to look to cut off all reinforcements. Lurkers will burrow. The Widowmines are going to go off, but on nothing whatsoever. Lurkers here, they're on top of the production. Meanwhile, Inno doing what he can in the middle of the map, but it's not enough. It's not enough. All he's doing is clearing out creep, and now look at this, the production of Rogue, or the production of Inno, it's just getting camped. 9 Lurkers are sitting here, and Innovation, he just does not have what he needs. 150 supply to 199. In Innovation, he's going to try to come home, but we just have continuous Lurker-Ling rallies coming on in here. Yes, Innovation does have the rich gas. Actually, he's not even going to have that. 1 Lurker here, going to burrow behind the mineral line. This 3rd base will go down. Hydras are going to kill that off. Innovation, he has some rally on the high ground, but it's not going to be enough. It looks like he's just going to go for a YOLO drop on top of the Lurkers. That's not the play, Innovation. He's going to try and go for the surround with the scans, but the Lurkers, they're just too powerful. Innovation, GG, Rogue, he takes it! My God, Rogue, he takes it. What a game there from Rogue in that game number 1. Rogue, he loses 20 workers to 2 Banshees. He is on the back foot the entire game. He is on equal basis to the Terran player for 17 minutes. And he gets into Lurker attack. Innovation takes a couple bad fights. Innovation does not tech up. He gets no tanks. He gets no Liberators. He gets no Ghosts. And then Rogue, he's able to win the game. What a game there in game number 1. My God, Rogue, showing some incredible defensive acumen. And now, we're going to get on into our second game in this series. It will be on a map. I want to say it's on Romanticide, but I'm waiting for the map to load. There we go. We'll be on Romanticide for our second game of the day. Second game of this series. Innovation versus Rogue. Rogue has a 1-0 lead off of a masterful defense in game number 1. But now we do have game 2. It is loaded up. Let's get down into it. Spawning in the upper left, in the blue, For Kaisi Gaming down 1-0 in this best of 3. He's innovation. And his opponent in the upper right in the red, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, up 1-0 off of a masterful game number 1. He is Rogue. When you hit the wrong button. So what do we see here? What are we going to see here in this game number 2? Of course, Rogue, he took a lot of damage in game number 1. He took tremendous damage. He lost 20 workers to 2 Banshees. And, well, that's a bit of a problem. But Rogue, he said, no, I'm just going to do what I can. I'm going to survive. I'm going to play Hydraling Bane. And I'm going to do what I can to make sure that I do not die. That's the goal here. I don't need to win yet. I just need to make sure that I can get up a solid worker count. I can get my economy up. I can keep my upgrades up. I can get into late game tech. And I will survive. I'm going to stay on creep. I'm not going to do anything else. And that's what Rogue did. He went and Hydraling Bane, of course, allows you to take those defensive fights because you play more efficiently. Now, Mutilating Bane, there's a lot of trades. You expect to lose a little bit more because your army is powerful because of the economy that you have, because of the sheer masses of units. But on the flip side, you're trading a lot. You're expecting to lose, 4,000 or 5,000 resources more than your opponent over the course of the game as things happen. But with Hydraling Bane, yes, you still are trading out Zerglings and Banelings, but the Hydras are not supposed to die, not all that much. And that is that solid defensive force that just stays there and fights fight after fight after fight and gains value and earns value. So with that being the case, Rogue was able to play things a little bit more efficiently, even as his economy and tech was a little bit slower. And that allowed him to defend his 4 bases, to get into his 5 bases. To get into his 4 and 5 bases, get on into lurkers, get into all the upgrades that he needs, take a couple fights. In innovation, I just cannot help but feel that he tunnel visioned in that game. He knew what kind of position he was in. He knew just how good of a position he was in. And he said, look, to hell with it. I'm just going to get all the bases I need. I'm going to get to 3-3, and I'm going to drown you in my superior economy. But on the flip side, he did not get into a Ghost Academy. He did not get Liberators. He did not get tanks. And with all of that being the case, well, he was just not able to have anything that could fight effectively against the lurkers. So we have Overlord Speed coming in from Rogue in this game number 2. The Hellions, they're going to look to try to get something done here. Will not be successful. And Rogue just wants to make sure he's not trying to do a little... Innovation's not trying to do anything too crazy. We're not going to see some sort of like Blue Flame Hellbat attacks that we've seen. All that. Alright, so now the Hellions will look to move on in here, and there's not a whole lot here, not yet, so the drones will be pulled kind of, and that's just enough of a split to keep them alive. As now the Hellions, they're going to go on into a spot. They're going to find a really nice position for themselves. Being able to kill a decent amount of these Zerglings, but at the end of the day, 4 will escape. Well done there, Innovation. Let's see, that was 12 Zerglings for 4 Hellions and 5 workers as well. Yeah. Innovation taking a pretty positive trade there, but it looks like we have a run bike coming onto the 3rd base here, but no, the Hellions will find their way home. And there are a couple Marines here. Not going to be all that impactful, so there we go. We have Zerglings, they're going to run on in there, not going to get a whole lot done because the Hellions are back. And this is also interesting from Rogue. So notice Rogue decided to take this as his 4th base instead of his 3rd. And what we've seen a lot of Zerg players do right now over the last... pretty much, maybe not since this map was started, but, I don't know, last 2 months, last 3 months, is they take what Rogue has taken as his 4th, as his 3rd. Because what that means is the creep spread is able to get around these doodads. You can get on top of and kill these rocks just a little bit faster, and then the inevitable Terran tank push that happens on this map will not be nearly as powerful. It's much easier to get on top of the tanks and kill them off. So Innovation will be scouted here. It is 5 racks at the moment. We're gonna have to see whether he decides to go for 8 racks, whether he decides to go for 2 factories, or whether he just drops that 4th command center. Knowing Innovation, it's probably just gonna be a 4th command center. But look at this creep spread. Rogue has so much better creep spread in this game number 1. All right. So here we are. Looking to push back creep a little, but again, Rogue has really good creep spread in this game. Far better than what he dealt with in game number 1. And Rogue is going to get a really good surround here. The tanks, before they siege up, the tanks are just going to go down just like that one shot goes off. And that's going to be just about it. Now, that being said, there are only 3 Banelings on the map right now, and Innovation still has a fairly significant army because this is 1-1 versus 0-0. Innovation's got a really nice upgrade timing here. Now, he will be forced to pick up as the Banelings do come crashing in, but hey, just drop on into the natural, and he's got a position here where the Spore is not. The Queens are going to fire from the low ground, but this Spore is just going to get targeted down, and that is going to open him up for later pushes. Now, Rogue may decide to rebuild, but for the moment, Innovation has a little bit more room to get aggressive in the next drop, and the drop after that. Alright, so now we have the Zerglings. We're going to look to take this fight, but I mean, it's Hellions, it's +1 links. It's going to eventually get cleaned up, but, it's going to be okay. That being said, though, Rogue does have 1-1 now. He has upgrade parity, and actually, he's going to have an upgrade lead for 2-2, because Innovation forgot his armory. Innovation's armory was a little bit slow, so Rogue's going to have like a 5-second upgrade lead, which is non-zero, but it's also not going to do a whole lot in this game. So there we go, 5th base on the way as Innovation takes his 4th. Rogue is pretty happy with how this game is going. A lot happier than how he was with last game. He won last game, so we're going to have to see whether Rogue can turn this, the fact that he's not dead, into an actual victory. So there we go. We have Innovation's going to siege up this 5th base. This 5th base should just get canceled here. That's fine. I mean, Rogue's still on. Oh, he's going to get a kill. That's rather unfortunate. Zergling's going to try to get on top of these tanks, but not a whole lot because look at how much bio is behind here. And yes, Rogue will be able to clean up the right-hand side, but Innovation now pushing forward. The tanks behind are doing a really good job of targeting these Banelings down. Innovation, oh, he gets so many Banelings there. So now we just have, Innovation. He's just going to kite backwards. Yes, the tank goes down, but a bunch of Hydras going down as well, and that is not the type of game you're looking for. Rogue does not want to lose Hydras. He doesn't care if he loses Links and Banes. That's going to be fine. But it's the Hydras. Those are the important things. Those are what you don't want to lose. Those are the backbone, the stalwart defense of your force. Now, Innovation, he has a base lead. He has an economic, equality with his opponent. 4 bases to 4. Okay, those are going to be some really nice Baneling shots, and a lot of Widow, or a couple Medevacs will go down as well. Innovation not quite paying attention. But 2-2 is just about done. We have concussive shells on the way, +1 ground attack on the way here as tanks continue to get rallied out. And I like Innovation's position to go on into lurker play as well as Rogue. Hive is good. Hive is a good way away. Infestation Pit only just now getting started. Rogue just trying to play this heavily upgraded mid-game style. But if there was a game for Rogue to get quick Hive on, I would have thought it would have been this one. Now Rogue going on for a big surround here. Zerglings will get on top of these tanks ASAP. The question though, whether the tanks will be able to get the Widow Mines, or excuse me, get the Banelings, and they will not be able to do so. A couple more tanks on the high ground, but they are not staged up here. Rogue spilling on through. Great Baneling connections as he's going to get the rest of these tanks as well. Look at this. Rogue taking such a good fight here. The entire army of innovation, it's going down, and now we have army supply parity, but you got to remember, that is 10 medevacs. So what, 20 supply of that is just in medevacs? So Rogue in actual fighting army is a really good one right now. That will provide him the room he needs to be able to drone up his 5th base, maybe even take a 6th if that is his goal. Get on into Lair, get into the Lurker Den, get into what he needs to do. Yeah, the Lurker Den, that 2-2 versus 1 upgrade advantage was actually used. It was a 5-second window, and Rogue found the room to make it happen. Now Rogue on 5 bases, but Innovation going for 5 bases as well, unless Rogue is able to get the creep block ahead of time. No, it looks like he will not do that. Now we have a big surround coming on in once again, and now Rogue says, look, I'm happy with my position in this game. I'm okay. I can now go get aggressive. I don't have to just sit here and defend. I can move run bys around. I can do things like that. That being said though, Innovation built the wall. And as the wall was built, it's going to be difficult to get on in there. That being said, though, most of Innovation's rally is on the map. He doesn't have a whole lot to defend this, as we have 2 more command centers on the way. Planetary coming on up for the 5th base of Innovation here. And he's in that position where he's going to start to maybe remove some of his SCVs and just really make use of that mule economy to put him where he wants to be. Now, we do have Lurkers are on the way. Seismic Spines are on, or excuse me, yes, Seismic Spines are on the way as well. But with all the tanks sieging up, this is a difficult position to attack into. Of course, we do not have Light Vipers yet, but the Banelings, they're going to try to spill on forward. The tanks will go down here, and actually Banelings making some really good connections. The tanks not really being nearly as impactful as they want to be. Rogue taking a really good fight once again, so he's going to take the upper right-hand side base. So he is about 2 bases away from having max economy in this game, mining maximum possible things. As there we go. He's taking the gas on his 4th and 5th bases. Whoever was in this game. This is from WardiTV. I don't know who Fruit Bunker is. But he's saying, Rogue scares me, can I leave? Amazing. Gotta love it. I guess maybe he's another language caster. Maybe Wardy actually brought someone in to do the observer for him. And the observing for him in this game. I don't know. Alright, but now 2-3 on the way here. As we do have, a Nidus coming on down as Rogue looks to find a way to break the entrenched position of Innovation. Maybe it's the Take TV caster. Maybe it's Naruto. I don't know. But again, we have missile turrets everywhere. Innovation says, look, I have 3 sensor towers. You're not getting 5. Okay, 3 more missile turrets. Yeah. There is no way that Rogue is going to get a Nidus on in here. This is the Iron Fortress. This is Innovation saying, oh, you know what? I don't like my position here. I'm going to transition. I have ghosts this game. In fact, I have 9 ghosts. I have enhanced shockwaves on the way. I have a decent amount of tanks. Plus 3 tanks coming on in here. This is Innovation buckling it down. We're taking the game another 10 minutes, another 15 minutes. This is going to be... This is a pretty cool game. This is not something we see all that often. I mean, look how much Innovation knows about the map right now. Even high-sec auto-tracking on the way to make these planetary fortresses that much more powerful. Now, the Lurkers will go on in forward. Go burrow here. And Banelings will make some fairly nice connection, but look at all the ghosts on the low ground. Really just looking for EMPs, snipes, whatever they can get. Taking those positive trades. Now, we do have this run by coming on in. We'll force a lift. And Crack is not done yet. So these Zerglings will struggle to get through this wall all that quickly, and they're just going to die. Actually, no, they will get in eventually. It looks like there's a tank coming on in here. But hey, friendly fire on the tank does mean some SCVs will go down. Actually, no, the tank's just going to go down. And hey, now we have room. Now Rogue can get something done. Maybe he can be a little more active. Lurkers will go on and burrow up on in here. But hey, missile turrets. So one lurker goes down immediately. Second lurker, not exactly burrowed. Alright, so now we have this Nidus on the left-hand side. Where's the mouth of the Nidus? In the mouth of the Nidus here. So this will allow Rogue to have some really nice reinforcement potential. Oh yeah, this lurker. Yeah, Innovation's not going to be able to take that base, not for a while. So actually what Rogue is doing here is really cool. This is not a, I'm trying to get into the main base and camp production. No, this is Rogue making use of how I thought the Nidus was going, or how I thought the Nidus was going to be used when the changes to Legacy of the Void happened. When you could have multiples up at the same time, when things got faster, when load-unload got faster. I really thought we were going to see much more of a game of Berserkers being able to defend their bases a little bit easier, to move around the map a little bit easier. And so the Ghosts will snipe that one lurker, but the rest of the lurkers are going to try to get something done here. And this army will deny this base. Actually, what is Rogue doing with that? Okay, so this Nidus will be found with a 1 Zergling in it. Nice. And the lurkers are continuing to do a decent amount of damage here. The Ghosts are going to look to do what they can, but no, they're just going to go down. Those lurkers doing some tremendous damage. And now Innovo, he will find this base, and he will kill the Nidus network. Yeah, he will knock this down, but Rogue can just build another one. He does have 2 tails of the Nidus, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. As the Banelings are going to make some really nice connections. Now we do have lurkers flying on in here, and we're going to have to see some good snipes. As Innovation's still able to keep most of his army alive, and he will kill this 4th base of Rogue. Granted, it's not the most impactful mining here. Nice parasitic bomb. But hey, no, Innovation on top of things. He will split off. And now the base will go down, and look at all of these snipes on top of all of these, all of the overlords, or all of the overseers. But Rogue still has a good bang. Innovation though, he gets the 4th base, and these lurkers are still doing things. Now, okay, so those snipes will go off eventually. Those lurkers got a lot done. Alright, so now we have a bunch of lurkers moving on to the left-hand side. I think the goal here is to maybe deal with the base, but oh no, the Ghosts will find them, and the Ghosts do a lot of damage even without snipes. But there we go. Now the Ghosts, they're going to look for something. There's going to be a scan, and now, okay, there we go. A bunch of lurkers do go down. Only 2. That is so expensive. 2 lurkers of 9, all that get on in there. And Zerglings, they're going to try to get something done, but it's just a bunch of orbitals. There's no mining here. Not anymore. And Rogue just hemorrhaging units at this point. Down 9k with a style that is supposed to be cost efficient. Alright, so now Rogue's going to look to get on in here. There's only 1 tank and a planetary looking to defend, but you got to remember, these planetaries are powerful things. Nice! Oh man, I love this this blinding cloud. It gets on top of both the tank and the planetary. So this base will go down, but these snipes though, Rogue, he's gonna lose so much in exchange. Remember that 5k bank that he had? Remember that bank lead that he had over Innovation? It's just about the same. Now he does have 4k. Man, when was the last time you saw a Zerg player with less minerals and the bank than he had gas? He is at a 1k, 4k bank. That is insane. Especially with Rogue going Lurker Tech, Lurker Viper is just so much more gas expensive than it is mineral expensive. I mean, I guess he has the Rich Fest being gas, but it's not doing a ton. Now, Rogue, he is the one with the worst bank here. Now, really nice use of the wall here. So the Ghost will stay alive for a while. We're going to see snipes on all of these lurkers. Lurkers won't go down just quite yet. There we go. So nice snipes there. More and more Banelings will roll on in here, but these splits from Innovation are so damn good. On top of that, you've got to remember, Ghosts are not light units. Banelings are not good against them, as much as you might think they are. They look small. They're not all that good. Their Banelings are not all that great against Ghosts. And there we go. All of the Changelings will go down. You gotta remember, Ghosts have 100 health, but also they are not light, and they have a decent amount of armor. So now we have these 2-3 cracklings. They're gonna find this base, and they will force a lift here. The base does finish though, so Rogue not able to cancel that. Meanwhile, it looks like, yeah, the base, the planetary of Inno on the bottom left will get taken down. So Rogue fighting back here. Even as he is running out of money, he still does have an economic advantage for the time being. So now Zerglings will find this base once again. Planetary coming up here once again, but these Banelings can absolutely bust this thing down. I don't know if I like busting planetaries down anymore, though. Zerglings getting on top of everything. And, okay, the Hydras, there we go. Not a lot of Banelings used to kill the base, just killing the army here. 11 workers go down as well. And now Rogue, how many more planetaries, or how many more orbitals and command centers does Innovation have? He's at 7 orbitals, 2 planetaries, no more command centers though. He's building another, and he has a bank. Yeah, as long as Rogue can keep these 2 bases from Innovation and trade somewhat efficiently, he's going to be okay. That's the whole play here. But Innovation, he's trying once again. The Lurkers will burrow up, and I feel like Rogue is missing Vipers. That's the big deal. Now, once again, this base Rogue will attempt to take this base, and Innovation won't be able to, will not be allowed to drop. So we're going to see the Lurkers burrow up on this base once again. This will be forced to cancel. Liberators are not sieged up here. Now, the tanks are doing what they can, but the tanks are pretty far back, and the Liberators, now they're going to siege on up, and the Lurkers will go back and innovate. There we go. Rogue will find this base once again. That being said, Rogue, he is now supply blocked. He's lost a lot of observers, and that's something that is kind of expensive in the context of this game. Is now Innovation. He will find this base. Look at Ghosts. Actually, they do bonus damage. So, like, Ghosts are just shredding all of these Hydras, firing no snipes, no nothing, just killing everything. His Innovation has just as many Ghosts as he has Marines. He has more Ghosts than he has Marauders. So this base will go down. And Rogue has done a really good job of denying these bases, but that's only good for him as long as he's able to keep his bases up as well. So Lurkers will go on down here. We should see a bunch of snipes. 2 Lurkers do go down. Look at all these snipes. And now Innovation, there's not enough Lurkers to defend. More and more snipes coming on. My god, that's so many snipes. Anyway, now Innovation is just going to kite back behind Lurker range. And he's going to be fine. He's at a 50 supply lead all of a sudden. Yes, he is only mining off. He's actually really not mining. 1K to 3K, but as long as he's able to keep trading as well as he has been against Rogue, as this is a 20,000 resource differential now. Rogue has just been suffering at the hands of the snipes, or what has brought Innovation back into this game. And now Zerg, oh, they're going to find the tanks right as the tanks unseized. That is unfortunate there for the tanks of Innovation. But the tanks will go down. And actually, the Zerglings, there's room for them to get on top of this planetary where there are no Liberators. But now we have the army of Innovation on the right-hand side. And the Cracklings will not get what they're looking for. This planetary, it's all mined out. So now Innovation, he has these 2 north side bases. He has this bottom side base. And yes, Rogue has every base he can reasonably be expected to take on the map. But he's running out of money. Right, this base, it's out of 10. So realistically, the only 2 fully resource-rich bases that Rogue has going from in this game are the ones on the bottom side, the side that Innovation is actively pushing on into. And actually, Rogue's going to lose this base as well. Yes, it was only 15 out of 10, but that is valuable economy, and that means he's likely going to lose this base as well. Now, Innovation will lose his base. We'll lose the bottom left. Alright, so Innovation once again losing it, but look at this, the Hydras, they're not killing this command center all that quickly because they have building armor. So it's even taken a while to kill that, but now Innovation's gone into the next step of tech here. He has Liberators, he has tanks, and he's going into really quickly. Okay, so he does not have Liberator attack yet, but even then, Liberators deal with Lurkers pretty well. That being said, though, the bottom left base has been dealt with. A couple more Lurkers on the way here. One Lurker that's just going to look to deny things. And the Army of Innovation, again, it still struggles to fight Lurkers straight up. There are a lot of Lurkers in this game. So that does mean that it's going to be rather difficult for I would really like to see these Lurkers just kind of deny mining. But no, they're just going to get found and die. That's how that goes. Lurkers are going to siege on up here once again. But with the Liberators, with the tanks, with the Ghosts. Oh no, they're on the wrong side of the doodad. So many lurkers go down, and Rogue just doesn't have the money to replace them. As this base will come under fire, this base will go down. Now the workers will escape, and that is important. Your Rogue does not have the economy. He can rebuild a base. He has the economy to really rebuild a base, but he does not have the economy to rebuild 20-odd workers. So we're going to see the snipes coming in once again. So many lurkers will go down. Big surround coming on in here from Rogue, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. And the innovation will be forced back for the time being, but it's once again, it's a 50 supply lead. Alright, so a bunch of lurkers are at the back of this base. They're going to try to defend it, but no, you just attack from the front. Lurkers snipe what they can, but at the end of the day, the base is dead. Now Rogue, for the first time in ever, Innovation has a massive economic lead. And these lurkers, they're going to move forward and try to take the siege up, but tanks are firing away. 8 workers go down. Meanwhile, more snipes on the lurkers on the left-hand side. Excuse me, GG. Innovation. He takes game 2. What a... Jeez. What a game. Sushi, he gives me the best ones. Innovation versus Rogue in 26 minutes. Innovation finally taking it. But that just means we're going to a game 3, and you know... Sushi said of course, because this video is recorded after the... I did a 4-player show match earlier on, and he said, oh, hey, can you cast this quick best of 3 for me for YouTube afterwards? I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. That sounds like fun. Game 1, 18 minutes. Game 2, 26 minutes. We're going to have to see how long Game 3 is. It will be on Oxide, of course. And, quick best of 3, he says. Best of 3 lasting longer than the Jo-Un Rex series that we saw. If you, that'll be on YouTube, the Alpha X Super Series 18. So, quicker than that. Or this series is lasting longer than that best of 5. But anyway... Let's get on in to our third and final game of the series. Let's do it. Spawning in the bottom left, in the blue. Tied in this game 3, playing a really cool game number 2 for Kaiser Gaming is Innovation. And in the upper right, in the red, the GSL Season 2 champion for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Give it up for Rogue. So, what do we see here in game number 3? Games 1 and 2 were long as hell. They were glorious as hell. I loved every single bit of it. As we saw Rogue and Innovation fight all over the map. Every base was taken on Romanticide. And it was just, man, Innovation doing a really good job of playing the map. Fighting on the right, fighting on the left, doing what he could to force Rogue out of position, and then just sniping down. So I don't even want to know how many lurkers died in that game. I didn't look, but it's got to be like 35 lurkers, which is just ludicrous amounts of gas. But anyway, 1-1-1 coming from the Terran player. So no 2-1-1, no nothing too crazy as of yet. And actually, the Reaper's going to get a decent amount of Zerglings here. He's going to get 2 Zerglings, and that is not... You expect to lose 1 when you get 4 Zerglings, 0 if you get 6, of course. But losing 2, it's not expected. That being said, though, Innovation taking a lot of damage to make that happen means that he will not get the Creep Tumor. And will not be able to make that happen. Third base on the way at... actually, that was a rather quick third base. I didn't see the timing of that. Was that like 20, I think a 28 supply third base. So the Reaper's going to just do some damage to it. Maybe just annoy Rogue just a little, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really impact things all that much. And there we go. Starport on the way. Third command center on the way here for Innovation. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Rogue was in a great position in game number 2, and he lost from there. Innovation was in a great position in game number 1, and he lost from there. So I think whoever gets ahead in the mid-game, early mid-game, in this game number 3 ends up losing 10 minutes later. I think that's how that works. Right? Right. Absolutely. But look at this. We got something a little bit different coming in from Rogue in this game number 3. It will be a 35 drone Roach Ravager Ling Pressure. Now, this is not necessarily all in, but it is something that you want to get some damage done to in Innovation. Man, he's got this. He's got the soul read on Rogue here. This is going to be a Banshee opener coming from Rogue, or coming from Innovation in this game number 3. And Banshees against Roaches and Ravagers. Well, Roaches, Ravagers, they do not shoot up. Now, Zerglings, Banshees are less good against Zerglings. So if the Roaches and Ravagers are able to punch through both lines of the wall, maybe they can get something done. Maybe they can get the damage they're looking for. But... oh, okay. Oh, no. Innovation, he's going to spot it, too. So we should start to see some bunkers come on up here. Yeah. This is, oh, Innovation actually is not going to build any tanks. He says, look, I got Banshees. It's fine. So Banshee's going to show up here, do what he can. Just target down all the Ravagers, all the Roaches. And more Zerglings are on the way, so we will see a bunch of SCVs will try to find their way on up in the high ground, be a little defensive there. But you got to remember, the Banshee is all that matters. The Banshee will just be able to remove so much of this eventually. Yes, I mean Zerglings, and they will force a lift for the time being. Actually, a couple SCVs will be pulled to deal with this as well. The Banshee actually needs to target the things down properly. But look at this concave second. 2 Banshees are here. Yes, a couple of supply depots will go down. That's going to be just about it. 10 workers do go down as well. So that's Rogue getting something. But Inno has worker parity with Rogue despite that. This is a 3 command center Innovation with 2 Banshees on the field. He did not lose. He lost 3 Hellions. That's about it. Yeah, I mean, he lost 10 workers, but those were workers he was happy to lose. And I believe he has, yes, he does have Cloak. Which means he can maybe get a little bit of damage done here onto the third base. I wouldn't even mind just seeing him kill a bunch of Queens. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Just sit on top of these Queens. They do not have transfuse energy, but... okay, now there is detection. They're going to find the natural, and... oh, really nice timing, spore timing there from Rogue. So that's going to be good for him. Now we have a lair on the way, which means these Banshees are dominant forces against the Queens. For the time. Actually, they're going to get some nice rallying workers as well. Dominant forces against the Queens, unless there is a 4th spore, which there is not. So there we go, Banshees on the high ground, and they're just playing the map. Once again, the whole goal here, yeah. Can these Queens defend? Is there detection in the mineral lines? Yes and yes. But the Queens cannot be everywhere. There are 2 spores. Man, Rogue, 2 spores in the mineral line. Really wants to make sure he doesn't take any damage, and he went for a Roach attack, didn't get anything done. Oh, didn't get enough done, I should say. Now he goes and he drops 2 spores in the mineral line, and he still loses 11 workers. By these powers combined, Innovation in a devastatingly good position here in this game number 3. We're going to have to see how he takes advantage of it, though. His third base is now in position. 1-1 is on the way. And oh no, Rogue, he's going for 1-1 Roaches, but you want to have an upgrade lead. Innovation will have 1-1 faster than Rogue will, and we have tanks on the way. Innovation doing everything he needs to do to win this game. He has tanks on the way, he has an upgrade lead, he has his third base, he's adding his additional barracks. We should start to see more Marauders get built as well once he has that 3 base gas. And really the question here is whether Rogue will be able to break the machine, whether he will be able to put a spanner in the cogs and cause some mishap. But right now, it's not looking the case. Innovation up 30 armies, up 20 army supply against a Roach player, and that is never a position you want to do. Now, nice circling counterattack. Rogue will do what he can to force Innovation back here, because that is what he has to do. Rogue does not have much of an army. Only just now does he have the worker count that he is looking for. 10 Roaches are on the way. Roach speed is not yet done. 1-1 is not done. If Innovation is able to hit this timing before 1-1 is done, before Roach speed is done, before Rogue really has that sledgehammer of Roaches that he looks to hit Innovation across the face with, Innovation is going to be in a good spot. I mean, Innovation is going to be a good spot in general, but that's going to be that timing that Rogue is looking to hit, that maybe he can fight appropriately. That being said, though, I do not know if Rogue is going to be able to defend this fourth base. Roaches will show their faces now, and there are some Ravagers here, but we will see tanks sieging up on the low ground. Bio is going to step forward, and this is 1-1 versus 0-0, so this base should get targeted down. There we go, tanks firing from the low ground. They're going to do what they can, so we will see some Biles get on top of this, but not even enough to kill off the tanks. The tanks will stay alive. Biles will land on the Bio, and that will keep this push, this base somewhat safe. But the tanks are still firing strong, and we will see more and more rallies coming in here. The Zergly run by not getting a whole lot. This base will go down. Oh, actually, with the transfuse, no, Rogue will be able. Yeah, no, he won't. Never mind. Not enough transfuses here. Bio going on backwards. The 3 tanks, they are firing strong, and the tanks. Okay, so the tanks will eventually go down here. Roach speed is a thing. The Queens get on top of it, but not solid trades here. Rogue back down on 3 bases. 2-2 is not on the way. Innovations 2-2 is. More and more tanks are on the way here. Banshee still exists. 2 tanks on the map, and it's just Marine tank for the win. Now, the one thing that Innovation does have to be afraid of is he did just lose a significant portion of his army. And when you're looking at a map like Oxide, when the natural to natural rally is so short, losing all of those tanks, losing all that Bio can mean that Innovation is vulnerable to a counterattack. That being said, though, with this tank positioning here, with how far back all of these tanks are, it's going to be difficult for Rogue, as he's now killing off the rocks to give himself different attack vectors. His Banshee will get a couple more workers, but not a ton. And now we're going to see a bunch of 1-run Roaches. They're going to look to go on in here, but Innovation scans and says, look, I am wise to your tricks, and once again, Innovation has an army supply lead against the Roach player. Now, this is pretty cool. Rogue is playing something. He's doing something that we saw Dark do on occasion in the GSL. 2-2 range on the way, of course, but there's a Hydra Den going down. There's a Hive on the way. And we may see Rogue going on into Hydra Lurker behind this. And this is a pretty cool move. Roach Ravager into Hydra Lurker. 1-1 into 2-2 does mean that you get ranged upgrades that much faster. And +3 Lurkers are just absolutely terrifying. So if you can get into them, it's rather nice. That being said, though, Hydra Den is just done now. Lurkers are going to be a little bit slow. Alright, so Marines actually they'll find a couple Ravagers in the front, but not able to get anything off. And now there we go, Lurker Den on the way. So this is, again, this is the move that I was talking about. It's pretty cool. But of course now there's a drop on in the main base. We'll not get anything done. Okay. Enough Roaches are here to defend, and the rest of the army. Yeah, there's actually a decent amount of spores here from earlier, so that will force this medevac back. And Rogue, he has his 4 bases now. His 5th base is on the way. Lurker Den is about halfway done. Then we're gonna get into Lurker upgrades. And Uruk, he's down in supply, and this is Roach Ravager, so that is worrying, but if he can get into the Lurker count that he's looking for, maybe that will be his saving grace. That being said, though, it's 2-2 versus 1-1. Innovation not looking to give him that time. These battles, though, will force Innovation back for the time being. Alright, so now 4 tanks are going to look to siege up this 4th base, but look at this, we got a nice surround coming out of here from Rogue, just a little, but I'm not just convinced there's enough. Even as the Biles do land on top of the army, no, Rogue will be forced back. It is 2-2 versus 1-2 here, +2 attack just about done, but the Biles, they're not landing like they need to, and Innovation, he's up 12 army supply in a game where he has a better army. So Rogue's going to look to take this fight once again. The Biles will get dropped on top of everything. Innovation, he's going to eat a decent amount of them, but doesn't really matter at this point. Yeah, it does. It does matter. Innovation cannot fight outside of the range of his tanks, but now we're going to have the tanks moving on forward ever so slowly. And notice we do not have Rogue building Hydras. Even if he does have the Lurker attack, even if Hydras would be good, he just does not have the time, he does not have the money to make this happen. So 1 tank will get biled down almost 2 tanks will get battled down eventually, but now the bio's going to move on forward here. And it's 2-2 versus 2-2, but the tanks are just so damn powerful. 20 army supply lead for here for Innovation. He's looking to stim on forward. If he knocks his 4th base out, it will be so difficult for Rogue to recover. Yes, Rogue will have a 4th base of his own, but it's going to be 4 base Terran versus 4 base Zerg. And Rogue, he does not have a good army. Not really, not compared to the Marine Marauder tank army that Innovation is bringing to bear here. So Innovation now going to stim on forward. Once again, this Spore will get nothing done. The Marauders, they are fighting strong. They're doing so much work here. Ravagers, Roaches, they're going to go forward in a last-ditch effort, but it's not going to be enough here. Rogue fighting for his life, but GG Innovation. He's going to take the series 2-1.